Hello and welcome into the RotoWire esports show. I'm Andrew Laird, joined as always by Ethan Sexton today to talk about Friday's 4-series LPL LCK slate. Ethan, Thursday was not a Rogue Warriors day.
No, but in fairness, it wasn't really. Well, for me, it wasn't an LGD day either. LGD day, D day, just reminded me of World War II, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't an LGD day either. But I also had paired LGD with Hanwha Life, and they didn't score for crap either, really. So it wasn't for me. It wasn't a good day at all because I didn't play IG, and you needed IG to win. But it ended up being a double support day, which is never very fun, right? But can't really hate on it too much because it won, took first place.
Yeah, I was looking at the Hanwha scores and I was like, this can't actually be right. I'm like 7-2 in game one, 14-4 in the second. I was like, I guess it's going to be like just a low scoring slate. And then I saw IG and I'm like, oh boy, never mind.
Yeah. So actually, the double support with Lucas as the captain, IG long stack, LNG bottom lane and team spot. That was a solo winner in the GPP. I was at 680 points, and it was basically just because IG had 33 kills in game one and just completely destroyed LGD, which we know could have happened. And I mean, we expected them to win, but I didn't expect them to put up, I think it was 52 kills if I'm remembering right. So not bad. I mean, they do have that upside, but they haven't really shown that kind of upside all year. I mean, they do. We know that they have high ceilings in a lot of matchups, and they hit that today. So it is what it is, and double support that with Lucas as the captain was an individual lineup, so that's kind of cool at least, I guess.
Yeah, props for that for sure.
I just didn't want to do it.
Right. Yeah, I played IG, which there was nothing great about that. Like we talked about how we thought they had plenty of upside. I just pairing them with Rogue Warriors was not just didn't work today. Maybe next time, but probably not. Let's jump into the Friday slate. We've got Suning, huge favorites against E-Star. Then we have FPX solidly favored against BLG. Gen.g solidly favored against DRX. And then your boy Sandbox favored against Afrika. I almost feel like we lose opportunities to play Sandbox when they're favorites because we just, you never really want to make them kind of like your anchor team, especially when we have FPX Suning and Gen.g. But maybe we can find a way to sneak them in. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's tougher when they're priced as the favorite because they're obviously not that good of a team. So at least when they're underdogs, you can be like, well, I can fit them in with this big favorite, and at least what I tell myself every time is, I like this lineup, even though they have been crap pretty much all season. But at least when they're the underdogs, it's like, well, they're cheap. Well, tomorrow, they're not so cheap,
not
right?
cheap.
So that makes it a little more difficult if we want to use them. Although I have to say that I really like them in this matchup because as much as I love Sandbox, the vice versa is that's about as much as I hate Afrika, right? So,
that's right.
I crap on Afrika all year, and I sing Sandbox's imaginary praises all year, which at the end of the day, they're the two worst teams in the league. So, I don't know. But I do think Sandbox are better than Afrika. And, this is two teams that are locked out of the playoff spot. They're not going to make the playoffs. So they really don't have a lot to play for. I think I think Sandbox is locked out of the playoffs. They're 5-11, one win behind KT, but I think they're locked out. I'm not 100% sure, I guess.
They've got a huge hill to climb.
It could end up just being a weird series that ends up being nice scoring wise anyway for DFS. But yeah, I mean, I like Sandbox here, and then we got Suning are like the safest bet to 2-0 on this slate, I think. Great matchup, E-Star, not offering much resistance this year, but Suning can put up points, so wouldn't fear them too much. And then I think Gen.g and DRX and FPX and BLG are a little bit closer, but leaning towards the favorites there as well. And kind of like the prices on both those teams because they're a little cheaper than some of the other favorites,
Yeah, I was. It made sense. Like once you realize that Suning are huge favorites, and then FPX generally score well, but it Gen G felt a little cheap.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they'll actually be more popular than maybe they should be, if only because you can build more reasonable lineups with them
Yeah.
in terms of like carry captains and stuff like that.
Yeah, they could be. I think they're just the cheapest because they're the slowest
Yeah.
paced usually. Usually out of the three big favorites on this slate anyway. So I think that's why the pricing is like that. I don't always love using all their pieces, but I think they're a good team with a good lineup, so it's hard to be like not want to play them too badly because this is a pretty good spot. DRX are okay. They're not a bad team, but they're not like a great team either. So
Right.
Gen G could put up a decent scores tomorrow, but it's just I think they're the cheapest because it's harder to see them putting up scores that match, like an FPX or Suning if all three win.
So, speaking of double supports, it's the only way you can play Suning and FPX together tomorrow. Do you think everybody, like I'm wondering if the slight decrease in prices for FPX means more people go there than Suning, even though Suning are in this great spot against E-Star, who lead the slate in deaths per game by a pretty decent margin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like every time I get real comfortable with FPX is when they they're turning into Suning. They're like I'm like, oh no, I love them, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they lose to somebody else now.
Yeah, I mean that they've definitely done that this year, and they just aren't feeling as safe as they should be. Like they should be. I really thought that they should be like a top four team, but they've had some hiccups this year.
Yeah.
And now they're bringing back Tien for this series tomorrow, so he comes back, and he is he was a world class jungler, but then he had these whatever health issues going on this year. They had Bo, who was great, right, and then they kind of had to force Tien back, and then when Tien came back originally, he was awful.
Yeah.
In that one series, and they went to Beishuan. So I don't know what we really can expect out of Tien tomorrow, and if he's going to be bad, does that mean that we should be on BLG? I mean, it's possible. I mean, BLG definitely have a lineup that can beat FPX. I still give FPX. I think FPX are going to win, and I'm going to back them to win. But it wouldn't really be that surprising if BLG won. I mean, if Tien is not going to play very well, Meteor is a very good jungler, and then BLG have just a solid team overall that could beat FPX. I'm not looking that way. The one thing about Suning, like they're in this great spot, like you said, and they're priced for that spot, of course. But I feel a lot better about them at these prices than I did at LNG today.
Yeah.
Comparable prices, right? So I wouldn't be too scared off Suning. It's just it's going to be hard to really pair them up, especially with favorites. To your point, double support is going to be there, but is that going to be popular because it won today? Maybe. I just don't want to play that way.
Yeah, I hate doing that. So I'll probably stay away from it myself. But yeah, you make a good point that like Suning, at least when you're paying up, you have the benefit of knowing they're actually a good team as opposed to LNG, who just happens to be playing somebody horrible.
Right.
So this is a good team playing a horrible team. Do you think BLG has a better shot against FPX than DRX does against Gen G?
Well, I think it's more like if DRX win, like I think DRX could win as well. So I think they could both win, although I'm back in the favorites. But I think it's more that just I think if BLG won, they would if both of them won, I think BLG would outscore DRX.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I'd rather play BLG. I mean, Gen G, I think Gen G will be fine against DRX, but we've seen Gen G slip up a couple times, right? And in recent history too. So, I think the winner of FPX BLG outscores the winner of Gen G DRX, no matter which team wins, either series. So I don't know if I feel like DRX or BLG have a better shot to actually win their series. It's just I do feel like BLG would outscore DRX if they both won.
Yep. Yeah, I could see Suning BLG being a popular combination. I don't know if I go there because I continue to be some sort of FPX sucker, playing them every slate I can. But I mean, they faltered enough. I feel like that you should have at least a little confidence that BLG should be able to pull that out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm going to probably land on FPX because I'm in the same boat you. I love playing them. I love the team on paper.
Yeah.
But we at least have to acknowledge that they haven't really been the safest of late. And, even my boy Nuguri just hasn't really been playing that well. And his price is, like, way down from where we're normally used to seeing him when they're favored. It's just a reflection of he just has not been good lately. But I don't know if like Bew can really take advantage of him. I hope not for his sake. So I'm on board with FPX as well. But yeah, I think we definitely had to at least acknowledge that they've been shaky. And BLG, I do think BLG are good enough to cause an upset. Like that wouldn't be a big surprise to me.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. So is Afrika basically the ignored team on the slate?
I think so, but they could easily beat Sandbox. I mean, it's two bad teams, right? And a lot of times we say, we always say like, if it's two bad teams, why not just get the salary relief and take the cheaper team? I just don't like Afrika, man. I think they're just not that good. Like, so it makes it hard for me to really sit here and be like, well, it's a combination of two things I already said, right? Afrika is probably the team I've spoken the worst about all year, and then Sandbox is the team I've spoken most glowingly about for reasons unknown, really. So I think I might be like kind of biased, I guess, in my thinking here. But I just don't, man. I just don't like this Afrika team, and I mean, I could see them. I could definitely see them winning, and I could see them scoring well because it could be just a like stupid series between two teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. But I just don't like them, man. I haven't liked them all year, and I can't change my ways now.
It does seem like that one has more of a shot of being stupid than gen.g DRX.
Yep.
Like I feel like
I agree. I feel like gen.g DRX would be more straightforward.
Right.
Like it feels like that's going to be the lowest scoring series on the slate. So I'm kind of staying away from that. But yeah, I mean like Afrika and Sandbox don't score great usually either, but it could just be like a wonky series tomorrow with nothing else to lose, right? So who knows? I mean, Afrika, like just to speak about Afrika again, like they haven't won a series in a month. Like tomorrow will be exactly a month since they've won their last series, and I don't see it in the cards, man. So I'm on the Sandbox train to no one's surprise that watches these videos.
I guess I'm curious, just like, does that mean E-Star is the leverage point? Like I just feel like Suning might be too expensive for a lot of people to build around.
Right.
And so then taking E-Star, I mean, we've seen E-Star score plenty well in
even in
their
losses,
best one was in a loss, which I don't see that happening against Suning. But like if they pull that out, like do they outscore the winner of FPX BLG? And
if they win, maybe. But for me, it's just not even really a consideration. That
All right.
Win. Like So, yeah, I mean, E-Star will be really low owned, so in that sense, they're a good leverage option, but I just feel like I'm not really giving them any chance to win, so I think it's, like, I just feel like you don't need to go there. I feel like I'd rather take my shot with BLG, who are not priced, I mean, they're like, aiming is like $200 more than Rat, and I would feel much better playing aiming than Rat. Like, at least I'm giving BLG some sort of chance to win, whereas I just think E-Star are going to get swept 2-0, like, so I'd rather take my shots with BLG or even go even cheaper and go to DRX. I mean, I don't really think DRX have a great chance of winning either, but they're even cheaper than E-Star, right? So I don't know. I just don't see it for E-Star, so it's not going to be where I'm going to look to go tomorrow in my lineups.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm heading as well.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right, if you guys have enjoyed the video, if you could please hit the like button below. Feel free to subscribe to get all of the RotoWire videos. There's also a little bell down there. You get notified when they show up, so you can make sure you're never late on getting our League of Legends videos. You can also try a RotoWire subscription for free for 10 days with no credit card required if you just go to rotowire.com/YouTube. Like I said, gets access to everything on our site, as well as our subscriber Discord chat, so feel free to check that out. Ethan, thank you for that, and good luck on Friday.
Same to you, man. Let's go Sandbox.